Do we have numbers?
Because then should put them on deck. Like
Yeah,
so
we are.
You can say this one is next. You want to do that?
Yeah, yeah.
Call one and tell the other one to be on deck.
Okay, the board has decided by consensus we're going to do 3-minute comments, up to 30 minutes total. First speaker, we have Carolyn Thomas, and then followed by that, Leslie Robinson. So if we want to do this in an orderly, timely fashion,
Joe?
maybe the second speaker can get lined up while the first one's speaking.
Joe, I thought that we were still talking about how much time they were going to have to maybe give more people an opportunity.
Yeah, but by board consensus, we decided 3 minutes at 30 minutes total.
I thought you asked me what my opinion was, and I hadn't given it yet.
We decided 3 minutes at 30
I
minutes.
think your opinion
Oh,
was
got
very
it.
clear, and I think that it's agendized that way, 3 minutes
What?
apiece for 30 minutes. We
I know.
understand that you disagree with that, and we came to a consensus because of the
Well,
heavy
we weren't
agenda
supposed to
that.
conduct business back there, so that was my point, was that we should.
Ms. Barclay, if you can
So my point
please
is, we've
bring it.
never
Okay.
limited it before. I don't
We've,
know why we're
we've
doing
limited
tonight.
it many times. We did it in the last board meeting, and
You
limiting
did-
it
you
is
did
not
2
limiting it.
minutes, but you're
Limiting
cutting
it is
people
not
off.
limiting.
All right, you guys,
Okay.
let's hear the first speaker. Carolyn Thomas, feel free.
Is there a timer? Oh, there it is. Thank you. I stood before you several months ago regarding Dr. McClay's evaluation. I'm here again to ask you to respectfully and prayerfully consider your moves tonight with agenda item number 5. Dr. McClay has been an exemplary leader in our district. I have worked for several non-public schools and public schools and worked for many administrators. In all those years and locations, I've never seen a leader with all the skills and talents that she possesses. She's a solution seeker when problems arise. I hope that in the 6 months that some of you have been on this board, that you have seen the depth and breadth of her educational knowledge. I hope that you've also seen how much she genuinely wants to see our district succeed and how she has a positive and uplifting approach to supporting students, parents, and families. I want you to know what a gem you have sitting beside you and how well respected she is around this whole state. Now, since the last time I spoke about this, I have seen how she's patiently taught all of you the ropes. I've seen her give you advice that helped you out of difficult situations. I have seen her knowledge about the Brown Act, Ed Code, and board policy be a valuable assistance to you at critical times. I've seen her work late hours, 7 days a week to find solutions to disagreements and conflicts. I know that she cares about this district so much that she never gave up, in spite of how hard she had to work to help create a smooth transition for all of you. I know that you would like to find someone who will do exactly what you tell them to do, but good leadership has the courage to listen to experienced advice and to differing perspectives to make sure that all thinking out of the box and inside the box is considered before governing decisions are reached. I am not one to go easy on administrators and pass out praise easily. Dr. McClay herself could probably tell you about all the times that I've questioned, argued, and fought for things if I did not agree with the direction of the district. So if I'm giving out compliments, it's usually because someone has really earned it. She has earned my respect, but also the respect of hundreds of people out there who are afraid or unable to speak tonight. I hope that you will take all of this in consideration as you provide her with an excellent evaluation report today. Thank you, Dr. McClay, for your unwavering service for our district.
Thank you. Next speaker, Leslie Robinson, followed by Christine Massa. Leslie?
Thank you. I actually will keep this very brief because I have an auditorium full of the most wonderful educators a mother of 4 could ask for, and I don't want to take away what they might have to say, and I know that there's time limitations, but I moved my family to Temecula in 2019 for the wonderful schools that are here, and obviously we had a little bit of a crisis in 2020, and the things that Temecula Valley did for my family while I was busy working, my husband and I are both nurses, it just means a lot to me, and that was through good leadership. Good leaderships and fantastic educators. I feel the love for Dr. McClay. Thank you so much, and I really want to thank you personally for my experiences here and feeling welcome in this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up, Christine Massa, followed by Kelly Maxey. Christine?
Thank you, Board. I am here to offer my praise and support for Superintendent Jody McClay, a driving force in our school district. Every time I talk to Dr. McClay, she says, please call me Jody, so that's how I'm going to refer to her. You know, she doesn't even sign her emails, doctor. I'm a parent of a TVUSD grad and 2 students at Chaparral. I really only got heavily involved with the school board during the pandemic, much like all of us, and to pay attention to the modernization plans for Chaparral High School. At least one of my kids will get to use the new gym. What a time for Jody to get a new job, huh? I didn't know Jody before, but every person I've met who has known Jody previously has said amazing things about how much she cares for students and staff. She showed that during the pandemic. There are so many people she treated with kindness and respect and empathy when we were all worried about getting back to school. When you think about how our district pivoted from decades of teaching one way to a completely new way of doing things in 3 weeks' time, you know you've got some talented leadership. My kids thought virtual school was great for the first few months. They all wanted to get back to it. But we understood that the district's hands were tied by the state, and no one wanted to risk our funding by defying the state. There's also a little thing called compassion, where you make sacrifices for the greater good. Our family understood that, and the district understood that, and that's why we followed the rules that were laid out for us and followed under Jody's compassionate leadership. All was going fairly well until November, when 3 new school board members were elected who had no experience with K-12 education or working with children, no experience with boards or being on a governing body. And Jody has handled this challenge with grace and humility. With the exceptions of Mrs. Barkley and Mr. Schwartz, you have no idea how good she makes you look. Whether it's having to teach you on the fly about Robert's Rules of Order, or educate you on how to properly pull together an agenda, which you still can't do, or watch you make heartbreaking decisions that are destroying our district, she does all of that with grace and humility. I can't praise her enough. We would be lost without her. Please don't let us have to find out how lost we would be. Along with Mrs. Barkley, I object to the illegal manner in which this agenda item was presented. Mr. Komorowski, it's incredibly disappointing that you can't even answer simple questions about your own thought process, which makes me think this was not proposed or written by you at all, and you are plagiarizing someone else's words just like you did in your dissertation. And Mr. Gonzalez, you also don't seem to understand how boards operated either. So in closing, Danny Gonzalez, I am serving you with a notice of intention to recall you, and I would like to ask, 30 seconds. And I would like to ask to either approach the dais or to hand it to administration to present to Mr. Gonzalez. Who can take this from me and present it? Or may I serve it directly?
Hand that over to Jason Vickery. That's it for your time. Thank you. Next up, we have Kelly Maxey. Kelly Maxey, followed by Justin Myers. Kelly.
Jody, I'd like to start by telling you how much I respect and admire you. I am the teacher I am today in part because of your amazing support and guidance over the years. I did not know back in 2005 when you hired me that would have been the best experience for me and my family. My twins just graduated from Great Oak and will be attending UCLA and Berkeley in the fall. They had an excellent education in TVUSD with amazing teachers and a rigorous curriculum, all things that you have spent years nurturing and developing. I'm forever grateful for the impact you've had on my life, my career as an educator, and the lives of my children. Thank you. In regard to this meeting today, I am sickened that you board members would consider firing an expert like Dr. McClay. People say it takes 10,000 hours of intense practice to become an expert. Dr. McClay has spent over 25 years immersed in every aspect of education. She's undoubtedly an expert and has helped build the stellar schools we have today. To Dr. K and Danny, do you consider yourselves experts in your fields? Earning a doctorate and building a small business certainly required considerable time and effort. How would it feel to have that stripped away? In your most recent press conference held at the 412 Church, you both complained that people were targeting your jobs and the livelihoods of your family. Do you not see the irony here? Stripping somebody of a 25-year career without cause, or worse, trying to establish cause based on the chaos you yourself created is unthinkable. And yet it is the very thing you attempt to do to Dr. McClay today. Danny, at the last school board meeting, you praised the amazing teachers your own children have had in TVUSD. One of those teachers was Eileen Corman. She was not able to be here today, but sent me a short comment to read on her behalf. Good evening, esteemed board members. I write to you today with deep gratitude for Danny's kind words spoken at the last board meeting about my teaching and the positive impact I've had on his children. It means a lot to me to be recognized, and it was a pleasure having his child in my class. Danny, as someone you respect, I urge you to reflect on the connection between my teaching and Dr. McClay's leadership. Her guidance has allowed me and countless other teachers to make a difference in the lives of our students. Whether you meant it or not, the praise you gave me is actually a testament to the positive influence Dr. McClay has had on our schools,
30
teachers,
seconds.
and district at large. Dr. McClay's tenure has brought remarkable progress and improvements. It's what has made TVUSD one of the best districts in Riverside County. I implore you to reconsider terminating her time in TVUSD. Thank you for your consideration, Eileen Corman. Danny, when I asked you months ago if you would fire Dr. McClay, you responded no. Today will tell if you are a man of your word.
Justin Myers, followed by Mike. I can barely read your last name. Brenzer?
All right.
Brewer. Mike Brewer's following Justin Myers. Justin.
Good evening. There are a lot of fantastic people here who need to talk, so I'll keep it quick. I would like to talk about another angle to this debacle. My name is Justin Myers, and I'm a taxpayer of TVUSD with 4 children in the public schools in this district. I'm disappointed in the previous and proposed actions of this board. I disapprove of the effort to remove the superintendent in the strongest possible manner, especially given the nakedly political bent of the entire affair. My wife and I are registered nurses who worked 60+ hours per week throughout the pandemic. The actions taken by the superintendent and previous board allowed for us to serve the community throughout the worst global public health crisis of the last century, while still ensuring that our children receive the quality public education that TVUSD is known for. We moved to our current residence specifically for the strength of the schools in this area. As board members, you have a fiduciary duty that you are frankly in dereliction of. Tens of thousands of dollars have already been squandered, and reckless actions such as these open the district to liability for dozens of costly lawsuits. I want my tax money to be spent on providing high-quality education to students, not on defending a frankly indefensible extremist agenda. I implore you to consider the ramifications of your actions and work towards improving the quality of the education our children receive, and to do so in a manner that is in full compliance with state and federal law. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, you're up next, followed by Alex Davis. Mike?
Let me start off by saying how disappointed I am in the 3 new members of this board. Since your arrival in December, you have yet to trust the very people who make the schools run, our teachers. They have come before you one after another and conveyed their concerns, offered their knowledge and expertise, provided you with the context you needed to make an informed decision. Yet each time you have had that opportunity to listen to us, you have turned your backs and said, we don't matter. Tonight, you have the opportunity to change that trend, to actually listen to the experts. You have said over and over again that you have a duty to the parents and students of this district. Well, I urge you to listen to them tonight. Listen to their words and to their concerns. However, you are not here to listen to those individuals who live outside of our school district. You are not here to listen to those who are asking you to make a decision based on religious beliefs either. You are here to help make the district the best it can be. Removing our superintendent is the worst decision you could make. Dr. McClay has been a part of TVUSD for over 25 years. In that time, she has been a teacher, principal, district administrator, and now our superintendent. Dr. McClay helped us successfully navigate our district through the only time in our history where the entire world simply shut down. Unlike surrounding districts who told students, just go home for the rest of the year, she took the approach that we had to find a way to keep the learning process moving forward, worked with people in her office, came up with a plan, provided it to administrators, who then passed it on to teachers, who spent their entire spring break coming up with lessons to try and figure out a way to keep student learning moving forward. To ensure that every student had a device that could help facilitate learning remotely. She then took action. She didn't abandon her students, her staff, or community. She figured out a way to keep the lines of learning open for business, and more importantly, help keep our kids connected and a part of our community. In the past 2 years, we've seen remarkable improvement in our students' scores, unlike many districts in the surrounding area. That's a testament to Jody's leadership. Tonight, you have the opportunity to change the trend and, hold on, wrong way, what did I do? Wrong page. Dr. Komorowski, Dr. McClay could have let you flounder at each of the previous board meetings when you clearly didn't understand what you couldn't and couldn't do from your pulpit. However, Dr. McClay guided you, helped you, built you up, educated you on the guidelines of being a board president. She did this with class, dignity, grace, and most importantly, leadership. Yet at every turn, the three of you have continued to tear her down. You have shown zero leadership, while she has done just the opposite. Leave our true leader alone.
Thank you. Next speaker, Alex. Followed by Chris Lindberg.
Good afternoon. As a parent of 2 students who attend TVUSD public schools, I want to express my strong opposition to your apparent plan to dismiss our district's award-winning superintendent. This decision appears to have been made without reasonable cause and contrary to the pleas of hundreds of parents, teachers, and students who have long suspected that this has been your ultimate goal, despite your repeated denials. Dr. McClay's tenure has been marked by nothing short of excellence, and her removal would send shockwaves throughout our schools and our community. The uncertainty and strife you seem to keep injecting into our district risks an exodus of highly qualified educators and irreparable harm to our city. It seems that your personal beliefs and ideological agendas keep being placed above the general welfare of our students, our staff, and our community. This is not the good governance that you were elected to provide us with. To date, you've wasted tens of thousands of dollars, our tax dollars, on hiring personal attorneys for you and CRT training provided by your experts who in the end confirmed for you what these teachers have been telling you all along, that CRT is not taught in our district. And now, you seem poised to waste hundreds of thousands of dollars more on this mission to oust a beloved superintendent for no reason. This seems to be part of a pattern of acting hastily without pausing to measure the consequences of your actions or the desires of your diverse constituency. We don't want culture wars. We don't want Fox News appearances. We don't want press conferences held at certain churches. We simply want stability and a continuation of what has made our schools excellent long before you were elected. I am a Christian, I'm a conservative, but I'm alarmed by the apparent influence that one particular pastor who does not live in our district seems to have over your decision-making. He financed your election campaigns, and you held your press conference last week, not in front of the school district offices, but from his church, on his YouTube channel. Our public schools are not ideological battlegrounds. They're not platforms for religious evangelism. They're institutions for learning and growth and community for all of our students. I am begging you as a parent to reverse course and refocus your energies on promoting good governance, stability, and unities in our schools. If you can't do this, if you won't do this, then I respectfully ask that you step aside immediately for the sake of our schools and our community.
Thank you. Next up, we have Chris, followed by Monica Lacombe.
I originally was going to start with many accolades for Dr. McClay, but I've heard a lot of them tonight, kind of the same words that I was going to say. She's a super strong superstar of a superintendent, and we can't afford to lose her. When you evaluate a superintendent, a school board should ask these questions as identified by the California School Board Association. Does she oversee the implementation and enforcement of state and federal mandates? This is a legal requirement, not a choice, to follow mandates. Does she ensure academic excellence for all students? This has been her career-long focus. Does she communicate regularly with stakeholders in the education process? You've seen her busy schedule of meetings, emails, newsletters, videos, and you know the many phone calls that she makes. Does she manage bonds, books, buildings, and budgets? With her top-notch staff, Dr. McClay is always informed, up to date, planning for the future, and staying within budget. Introducing chaos and a lack of direction to our district schools would be the worst thing to happen right now. Yet, educational researchers who study changes in a district when a superintendent leaves say this is exactly what happens. Since the 3 newest board members have taken office, our community has become very divisive, which affects kids and staff. We need to bring back stability. Keep Dr. McClay in place and commend her for the excellent job that she does every day.
Thank you. Next up, we have Monica, followed by Whitney Williams. Monica.
Monica Lacombe. Dr. McClay, I want to say thank you for helping me throughout my child's career at TVUSD. As a concerned mom of a student in this district and a member of this community, I am deeply disappointed and frustrated with the decisions made by this board. The absence of ethical leadership and fair judgment is extremely upsetting. But what's even more upsetting is that I, as a parent, am not valued as parents, as other parents who are merely my equals. Ethical leadership on this board and in our community demand that we, the people, all of us, provide a well-rounded education for all of our students. We must encourage critical analysis, independent thinking, and a nuanced understanding of diverse perspective, whether in the classroom or at home. Our children should not be shielded from the discomfort, challenges, or problems that exist in our society simply because we choose to ignore them. We expose them to these problems so that they can prepare to solve these problems. If we do not, we deprive our children of the necessary tools they need to navigate the complexities of their world. One day, they're gonna lead us. However, it is evident that the racism and bigotry are currently being promoted as the solution, with the display of pseudo-intellectualism, weaponized white womanhood, and religious zealotry. All of this points to the motivating factor behind the decisions made by these new board members, and that is they lack the emotional intelligence and maturity required to ethically lead our district and our community. Their actions demonstrate that they also lack the necessary life skills and experience to engage in age-appropriate conversations with the children that they associate themselves with. As a result, the entire community is made to suffer with your ignorance. These new board members have consistently shown that their goal is to destroy the high-quality public education that our students have been receiving, and with that, we ask that you resign. These are papers meant to serve you, Jennifer Wiersma. You're out of here.
Thank you, Monica. Next up, Whitney. Let's try to keep it down. Order. Next up, we have Whitney, followed by Amber. Cott or Calt? I think it's Cott. Whitney.
I'm taking a slightly different approach. This is my statement in support of Dr. McClay. Hopefully many of us in this room are familiar with the movie Dead Poets Society, or at least the place where I've drawn inspiration as well as inspiration from Dr. McClay. Oh, Captain, our fearful trips begun. Our ship that's weathered every crack, now losing what we've won. The shore is near, the new steering clear, their goal is to destroy. They curse our team and kill the dream to support every girl and boy. But oh heart, our heart, with grace and intelligence to elevate, has been trampled, ravished, and made low, brought down by lies and hate. Oh Captain, our Captain, rise up and hear our cries. Lift up your head, your work's not dead. By you, we've been inspired. We will elevate and educate, even when from this fight we tire. Here, Captain, dear Captain, our work, it cannot wait. We will keep the ship together and afloat, though tossed by lies and hate. Our captain cannot answer. Rules and procedures keep her lips still, but we will rise and vocalize her values to instill. The fruits of our captain's labors: love, forbearance, gentleness, and joy, kindness, faithfulness, and excellence. Your lessons we will employ. O Captain, our Captain, we exalt your work in our teaching and our daily lives. Though unimaginable damage has harmed our ships, excellence someday again will thrive. The fruit of this storm and its ravenous wolves will fall away like thorn bushes into fire, though our hearts break on this day as they burn you at the pyre. O Captain, our brave Captain, your legacy lives on in the hearts and minds of our passengers, sailing now and far beyond. We will persevere and fight the fight to continue to elevate. Your work's not ended. We will defend our ship from these purveyors of lies and hate. Though the sun is setting and darkness befalls, heavenly bodies will be our guide. Though this night and age is dark, our light we will not hide. When the night ended and the sun rises upon us again, may you know your work is thriving, more powerful than it's ever been. O Captain, our ship will sail from this shore. The storm will cease, hatred's grip release. The banner elevate will fly again once more.
Thank you. Next up, we have Amber, followed by Christy Rutz-Robbins. Amber.
My name is Amber Cott. I'm a community member, educator, and parent of 4 TVUSD students. I'm here to express my sadness and feelings of helplessness because of the recent events in our community and district. I am respectfully asking that you reconsider removing Dr. McClay as our esteemed superintendent. Her unwavering support, professionalism, and leadership have provided the guidance our staff and students need and deserve. I count on Dr. McClay's expert knowledge to guide me as an educator, guide our district to reach excellence, as well as in making the best decisions for the benefit of my own children. I trust her leadership, and so does our community. You claim to value feedback and input from parents, and now is your chance to prove it. Thank you for reconsidering.
Christy.
I stand here with 3 representing 14. We, the past TVUSD leadership, are unified in support of Superintendent Dr. Jody McClay in order to ensure continuing educational excellence in our community. Under Dr. McClay's leadership over a career spanning 2 decades, TVUSD established and maintained instructional excellence, 2 National Blue Ribbon School Awards, 23 Distinguished School Awards, 8 Gold Ribbon School Awards. In the wake of state mandates during COVID, she kept school going, and under her leadership, TVUSD was among the first districts in the county to return to in-person school. Dr. McClay has ensured TVUSD remains #1 in Riverside County in ELA and math CAS scores, graduation rates, and A through G course completion. She has doubled district reserves, creating financial stability for a $440 million budget. She has created a new safety and security department and enhanced safety and security protocols, training, and facility modifications in the face of new realities. She has promoted strong leadership with principal support and coaching for new and future administrators, and secured parent voice through the creation of a parent engagement committee and local control accountability plans. She has ensured strong parent voice in the curriculum selection process and established student voice in the superintendent's student council and student voice campaign. Our joint statement is a testament to our unwavering support of Dr. McClay in her position as superintendent of Temecula Valley Unified School District. She is of outstanding character and a leader of the most excellent caliber. She has our highest recommendation. Past governing board members Robert Brown, Barbara Broche, Marianne Edwards, Julie Farnbach, Sandy Hinkson, Dr. Alan Pulsifer, Dr. Christy Russ-Robbins, Adam Skumowitz, and Barbara Tooker, and retired assistant superintendents and superintendents Dr. Valdez, Jeff Oken, Raymond Johnson, Dr. Carol Lichty, and Timothy Ritter.
Next up, we have Dion Hurston, followed by Alan Wallace, and that will be the last speaker for closed session. Dion.
First of all, I would like to offer my support to Dr. Jody. And this is going to be to you, other board members. You have done a disservice to the students, faculty, staff, parents, and community service at the TVUSD with your racialized speech and vile behavior. As one who works and attends church in this community, it is disheartening to witness such abhorrent behavior from a person in position of influence and authority. Our community deserves leaders who are committed to the well-being of all of its members, regardless of their race, ethnicity, or background. I spoke up during a March 22nd, 23rd, during Critical Race Theory workshop hosted by TVUSD. My comments were in opposition to the false narratives presented surrounding CRT. Prior to the meeting, you and your colleagues had incorrectly defined CRT, spent public funds on a board of supposed experts who shared skewed data and false narratives and promoted fear-mongering in this community. All the while, your leading expert, Chris Aaron, admitted that there was no evidence of CRT being taught in TVUSD. He added that it was a preemptive measure. The CRT ban was a political stunt by design that the policy targets black children, eliminates black history from American history, and stirs up fear and division.
Dion, give me a second. Your comments have to be related to closed session items. You're really focusing on CRT. You're going to be focused on closed.
So what I'm doing is I'm giving you an example of good leadership versus bad leadership. Okay. I'm talking about the bad leadership with what you have, and I'm talking about the good leadership with Dr. Jody. Please don't interrupt me, okay? Now, here I go again.
Be respectful, Dion.
Can I reclaim my time, please? Now, furthermore, it removes any resources. Let me start this. CRT ban was a political stunt. By the design, the policy targets black children and eliminates black history from American history and stirs up fear and division. Further, it removes any resources or support for specific children. Nearly $100,000 in wasted resources could have been better allocated to promoting a healthy, inclusive environment and other initiatives that benefit our community, like Dr. Jody has displayed. It is my firm belief that leadership should exemplify the values we hold dear as a community. Your actions, board members, these three, your actions have fallen short of those expectations in light of your failure to uphold the principles of equality, inclusivity, and respect. I am serving you with this notice of intent to recall to Dr. Komrosky.
Thank you. Order. Next speaker, Alan Wallace, and the last speaker. If we can't maintain order, the audience will be asked to leave by security. Please maintain order. Thank you.
Good evening. I've been a resident of Temecula since 2000. Many, many, many of our residents drive further to work, take longer time so they can live in a great quality city of Temecula. A big part of that is because of the quality of the education system. The fact that I am here today is a travesty, because this wouldn't be where I'd be normally. But you've woken the city. Look around. You have, in my belief, one of the best superintendents in the entire country, not just in the state, and not just in this town. She has a staff that was created with the help of the human resources management of Temecula Valley School System that brought in the best teachers and administrators to make it happen. And it has happened. Why are we here? It's not broken. Why are you trying to fix something that's not broken? Temecula is great because we're acceptance. We adjust. We modify. We really are the sum of 1 + 1 = 3. What you're doing with these actions is going 1 + 1 = 1. Why are we trying to go backwards? Please reconsider. Consider the things that make sense for you to help make a difference. But we need to include everybody. We need to try to make things better. We can always be better, but we have one of the best school systems. Don't screw it up.
Thank you. That concludes our closed session comments. We'll retreat back into closed session.